Yeah, you almost got it. Yeah. Oh, no. Welcome to the Nick and Rob Homer Hour, and we've got Rob coming back from his little vacation or trip, right? What was it again, Rob?
Yeah, I was out. I had to be out in Marble Falls. My boss has retired, and I was throwing her a big retirement party. We had a lot of people back in town, kind of from all over the country. So it was a pretty good time. But so we were out for a while. I pretty much got home right before kickoff, so was able to kind of had the whole game on, but just picked and choose when I jumped in. So halftime was a good time.
Yeah, I thought that was an awesome to get your opinions on such a big game, and we're going to get into that game because the Patriots ended up beating the Bills, and it was a lot of fun to watch live. I had a lot of fun with Deshaun. I had a lot of fun with Miguel and Tony. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. I need you out there more because that was so entertaining with you being 35 seconds ahead and quite literally being a psychological torture to us the entire game, telling us a touchdown might happen or won't happen. And Tony was picking us apart there, and I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Oh yeah, no, that was great. When we finally get big enough to have some merch, if Tony keeps this up, he's the first one getting Nick and Rob Home Hour merch. And yeah, Deshaun and Miguel were awesome to have on. I was really happy they joined the show. Miguel's going to work a little bit about talking right into the mic, but they were awesome, and it was a great vibe. I had you guys on the whole time while I was watching the game.
Well, it was awesome, and I hope the other audience members enjoyed it. And we did really well in viewership. So, who's ever out there watching this, glad you guys got some entertainment. That's the goal of the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. So, we're gonna bust into Eastside news. Of course, we're gonna talk about the Colts' big win, and we're gonna make some picks. Rob, I went 3-0, buddy.
You did. I did not, but I'm glad I did not because the Patriots won.
the the good news, yes, and the good news is, again, I don't have the record books up there, which I got to get that figured out next week. I promise. I'm going to make a promise to the audience. We'll find out who's leading it. It's definitely Rob, but I caught up on him just a little bit. But get that out of the way. I don't have it, but we'll definitely talk about those picks and make our future picks. But Rob, what do you think? Let's dig in some Eastside news.
Yeah, we got plenty to talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is Eastside News.
All right, let's talk about some East Side news, and let's lead off with that Sunday night game, national audience. And once again, can I just take a quick moment and say thank you, Tennessee ownership, for being terrible at what you do, and replacing Mike Vrabel with the guy that you're probably going to fire sometime in the next couple weeks because he's not actually that good at his job. So thank you for giving us the coach that we needed, the true heir apparent to Bill Belichick, and things are looking good right now. I gotta say it, things are looking good, and it all goes down with this game. Going into it, honestly, I was hoping let's keep it within 10 points. Let's look like we're growing. Let's look like we're doing what we need to do. We did all of that and then some. It was definitely a slow first half, a big defensive battle, but that's okay. The Pats did just fine with that with a halftime lead, all the way at 6-3, one of the lowest scoring first halves on Sunday Night Football there was. And we talked a little bit on the halftime show, which said, we're going to make some adjustments. And I figured, the veteran playoff team, the team competing for a Super Bowl, was going to make the better adjustments. But they didn't. They just stayed sloppy. The Bills were sloppy the whole game, which was too bad because they had those mostly cool uniforms on. Real quick aside on the uniforms, I liked them except for one part. their shoulder patches, to me, it was kind of so shiny, it just looked like a blob of duct tape, and you couldn't really tell what they were. But the helmets were cool, the uniforms were cool. Otherwise, what do you think of that rivalry uniform the Bills had?
I loved it. But you are right. Maybe the duct tape on the outside shoulder pads. Now that you mention it, I'm like, yeah, that probably didn't look the best. But I love the silver numbers. I know silver's not normally in their color, but I think they should change their logo to that silver Bills look. I know that's controversial for a lot of Bills fans. A lot of people like the classic. It looked pretty cool to me.
That
I just
that
thought it
would
looked
look
cool.
they would look real good in a snow game.
They'd be hard to
They
find
would
with all
also be
whites,
hard to
right?
find potentially, but they would look real cool in the snow game. That's for sure. They're never going to get rid of their main logo, but so far so good with some of these. The NFL's color rush was rough. We most of us did not like the color rush options, but this new effort with the rivalry uniforms, so far so good. The Bills mostly a good start with them, and if they want to wear those every time they play us, that's fine. 'Cause get off to a great start, 1-0. But yeah, halftime adjustments were made, and this was the Drake May to Stephon Diggs game. Um, Diggs had most of his catches and almost all of his yardage came after halftime. Um, and he was just absolutely fantastic in the second half. I'm talking about Drake May. Overall, 22 of 30 for 273 yards, but the second half is where the magic happens, and that's where it's like, okay, all right, we've got a quarterback here. Josh McDaniels is developing him. In the second half, he was 13 of 14 for 184 yards. And then there was the throw that we're all talking about. He got out of the grasp of Daquan Jones and fired off a 12-yard completion to Diggs, and it was like, okay, the, they're gonna do this.
They're
And
for real.
the toe tapping with that Diggs had throughout the game was fantastic, and it was really good. I had a feeling that Josh Allen was going to feel some playoff like pressure and start pressing. And sure enough, he did. And I called it, and he threw that pick, and that pick was the difference. The penalty right before may or may not have been ticky tack, but it was called. That's how it works. And that led to that interception. Okay. Had the Chiefs won last night in that Monday night craziness, they wouldn't have been no they would have said, "Oh well," about that ridiculous pass interference that helped lead them to that. Sorry, the no call on the pass interference that led that to them. So that's just how it works. It was all around the Pats were really doing a great job. Vrabel stayed with Stevenson, and it was interesting. He definitely held him back for a little bit after the fumble, but then every time in the clutch times when it mattered, it seemed like he wanted the veteran to take charge, and that led to some touchdowns, which that's fine. I would have preferred to see Henderson with that, but all around it was just the Pats weathered the storm. They did what they could. Now, they do I think they're going to sweep the Bills? No. I think the Bills have a very good chance of coming back, saying, okay, you got us the first time. Now we're going to come into your house and we're going to get you later on. I still think this is the Bills' division to win. But the Pats, I think, sent notice to everyone that if they can stay on their A game, if they can, they're going to be a playoff team. And then, the rookie kicker, Borregales, I was real hard on him after that first game. I was like, oh my goodness, let's get rid of this guy. Where's Parker Romo? Romo went and had an amazing game for the Falcons and then fell apart after that. So, but turns out it was just first game jitters. That was a clutch 52-yard field goal to win the game. Let's
Big moment.
go. Let's go. So it was wonderful. All around, just the team is responding to Vrabel. They really he's invested. He's a player's coach, but he's the right kind of player's coach. He's gonna hold you accountable. He's gonna push you because he knows what you can do. And now we're seeing when they have things going, things can happen. Um, Ultimately, overall, the Pats could not get much going rushing wise. So it had to be Drake May. They had a team total of 71 yards. Uh, Henderson only had 24 yards rushing. Stevenson had those 2 touchdowns, but he only averaged 2 yards a carry. And then he had that crucial fumble early on. So it was all about the receiving, and the ball was still spread around. 8 different receivers caught a ball, but Stephon Diggs had 10. Then the next highest receiving leader was Booty, and he had 3. So Diggs was making a point. He was dominating. It was awesome. And we're going to see if they can keep this going. The defense played fantastic. I loved what they were doing. Robert Spillane was all over the field, just absolutely fantastic. Uh, Having a healthy Christian Gonzalez, that really made a huge difference. That made a huge difference. Carlton Davis got a little shook up, but he made some huge plays throughout the game. And when healthy, I think the Patriots secondary is one of the best in the league. I think it's definitely the best in the AFC East. So we're looking good. We're excited.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. I really love Christian Gonzalez because I can't tell you how many times he just make another play, another play, another play, and they kept throwing it to him. I was really shocked that they kept going after him, and I'm going, it's not working for you, Josh. Like, just stop. And man, I mean, you got to remember, especially with the Patriots having such struggling seasons in the last couple of years, I haven't kept up with them, and I didn't really watch them too much. But
Right.
watching them prime time on Sunday, I've got a lot of good things to say about that. Christian Gonzalez, obviously on the defense, that secondary looks good. The big question for you, Rob, Drake May. I mean, do you think I, I've got my opinion. Do you think he's a top 10 quarterback already, or do you think
No,
he's gonna?
no, 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 no. Will he be there by the end of the year? I sure hope so. But I don't want to. I'm not declaring the Pats are about to go 6-0 in the AFC East, but 4-2 is doable. I'm not about to say that they're going to run all the way through, and this is going to be a shock the world Super Bowl type thing because it's Drake May's second year and Tom Brady's second year. No, 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 no. But I would definitely have him over a lot of other quarterbacks right now. I want Drake May over Caleb Williams. I want Drake May over Justin Fields. I want Drake May over Sunshine Trevor Lawrence. Um, for sure. You know, I even want him over Baker Mayfield, although Baker Mayfield's having a he's putting the pressure on Danny Dimes about whether or not who's the early MVP so far. So
Don't forget another name. Don't forget another name that can win that MVP.
oh, Jalen Hurts.
No, no. I know what you're doing, and I don't like it. But
Oh, well,
hey,
Dak will get his shine in a couple minutes.
of course, yeah, he will. But I'll tell you one thing. What I like about Drake May, number one, accuracy. Although it was not great in the first half, in the second half, he seemed to just be throwing dimes out there, which is number one most important quality of a pocket passer out there. I love his athleticism and his quick decision making and his competitiveness. I love this guy. I watched one game in the prime time. I may be falling in love with them in the heat of the moment, a little too what do they call that when you're a little too what is it? You're too close to the action and you just got off it, and
Yeah,
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's going to
I
be a real good stud.
I
And
think he will eat if they keep doing what they should doing. He's going to be top 10 by the end of the year. He's going to be knocking on that top 5 door within a year or two. And with this, as long as Josh McDaniel, no one gets some crazy idea to try to let Josh McDaniels be a head coach somewhere else again. Keep Josh McDaniels here for a few years. Let Drake May really grow and mature, and it's going to be awesome. The one other guy I really wanted to shout out is Marcus Jones is having a hell of a season. He's had those punt returns for touchdowns earlier in the year. He had the key interception against Josh Allen on Sunday night. He's just an all around. He's the guy doing the dirty work, putting the effort in that you want on your team, and the rest of the team's going to really start feeding off of what he's doing, and it's just The Patriot way feels like it's back.
Yeah,
I'll
I
leave it
mean
at
they're playing really aggressive. They got that big interception. They got a punch out fumble on Coleman, and yeah, Josh Allen just fumbled the ball because of a weird snap. But what do good defenses do, Rob? They take advantage of it, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what the Patriots did out there.
Yeah.
They look good to me. They look
Yeah.
really good to me.
And people are going to be like, oh, yeah, well, the Bills struggled. Okay, well, if they struggle for 1 week in January, guess what? Their season's over. It is what it is. The Pats came in, they threw a punch at Buffalo's mouth, and Buffalo went down. And I'm excited to see the rest of the season. Speaking of Buffalo, they had a they did well. Josh Allen was still doing everything he could to him and Patrick Mahomes are in their own world right now where it's just like it's not over until there's 3 zeros on the clock. It's just not. And he keeps you scared the whole time. But they did well. As their big thing was the penalties. And I gotta say, even like every time I'm watching a game this year in the NFL, I don't know what it is, but the sheer volume of flags, and you think, okay, that's because of calling everything. No, they're missing things all over the place, or calling things that are just ridiculous. Ooh, he barely touched a finger on a helmet. Personal foul, 15 yards. Like, no, no, and then missing key stuff that they shouldn't be because someone else is talking them out of it. So the NFL's officiating problem, I'm worried it's really going to rear its head in the playoffs.
I think this happens in the NFL when the offenses start picking up on the defenses, and then the defenses are going to catch back up, and then it's just the NFL. That's how it works. But when the offense is way ahead, and I think early in the year you could tell offenses were just kind of winning this thing. I think the NFL is just trying to limit offensive power in it, which I that's just my weird take on it. I guess I could just be wrong, but it seems like they're throwing way too many flags. It's just ticky tack call after ticky tack call, and it's not just them. I can't tell you how many of these teams I'm sifting through because we're focused on the NFC and AFC East, and it's the same thing every time. Well, they had a lot of penalties, a lot of penalties, a lot of penalties, and I'm going, who doesn't have a lot of penalties at this point?
Everyone does.
And
It makes it hard to watch.
It does, because like every time there's an incompletion, instead of you celebrating, what do? You're like
Turning and looking for the laundry, yeah.
Yeah, and it ruins the fun of the game. You just can't be confident in the play that happens, because that's what's beautiful about watching this sport is like as soon as something happens, you just want to react, and it's limiting your reaction. Now you're waiting for calls, and it kind of bums me out right now. But it is early in the year. Maybe they told them to look out for these certain things, and then the refs start backing off of it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Or not, or refs, or the NFL just says we're the NFL and you're going to watch us anyway. But they got to stop that attitude if that's the case.
Yeah, they do. They do. But most importantly, for the first time since 2019, the Patriots have won 2 games in a row. And for the first time, since 2022. And then for the first time since 2019, the Pats are over 500 this late in a season. So, hey, we're trending the right direction.
Absolutely.
Where do you want to? So, yeah, lots of excitement about the Pats. We'll talk a little bit more when we get to predictions about them. But where do you want to go next? Do we want to talk Dolphins, or do you want to bump over to some NFC stuff?
We could do some NFC East stuff. So we talked about one of the most exciting games, and I'm going to bring you to last week's Toilet Bowl, and that is the Giants against the Saints, where the Giants ended up losing to the Saints 26-14. Saints got their first victory. They did not fall 0-5. They got one win out there, and crazy game. I mean, it was really entertaining in the beginning. Jackson Dart started off hot. They ended up starting to get an early lead, 14-0, with 2 touchdown passes from Jackson Dart. But boy, did they self-conflict, and then the Saints started doing their thing and ended up coming back to go win that game and win it by a lot, relatively speaking. Stats in the game, I mean, the Giants had 335 yards, Saints 332. Rushing yards, Giants had 136 versus 88. And passing yards 202. So 202 yards for Jackson Dart. He had a really good start, but it looked like in the second half he started falling apart and they started figuring him out. This is the big one.
He's a rookie, right? He's a rookie.
Yeah, and you cannot win football games when you give up 5 turnovers versus the Saints not getting 0. And that's where the rookie is going to start coming out.
And 5 to the Saints.
Not the best defense. Not a world-class defense right now. They are trying to rebuild their defense and their offense for that matter, and you still gave up 5. I mean, that's more sloppy football than anything else, for sure. And Dayball drives me nuts because I swear Jackson Dart is very talented. Every time I like the 2 games that I've watched him and then seeing what he did in college, he is a very talented quarterback, but this system is one of the worst systems in the NFL. They don't motion, they don't play action enough, and their offensive line shouldn't be that bad. They've got a bunch of veterans out there, but of course they're not playing bad because the defenses are predicting what they're going to do so quickly, and Dayball will not get off his style, and I don't get it. It's not doing Jackson Dart any favors. I think once Dayball goes, which I think will happen pretty shortly or by the end of the year at the very least, maybe they'll let him finish out the year. I think Jackson Dart will get a good offensive coach in there and actually get him more set up for success because the talent's there. I think he's got it, but he's throwing games like this is just really bad. He himself was 26 for 40 with 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Spencer Rattler, you got to give him some credit there. I don't think the Giants defense is that bad. Finished 20 for 30, 225 yards, 1 touchdown, which isn't bad. Spencer Rattler did a good job out there. And Cam Scatterbo, big fumble. Oh, my Lord, what a bad fumble.
Do you see him blaming the gloves?
That's such a Scatterbo thing, isn't it?
He's screaming, "Get me new gloves."
What?
Like,
that is
such... he needs to be drug tested. I feel like he needs to be drug tested after every quarter.
Careful, Rob. Careful. Would you say drug test?
Make it a sports YouTube thing. Joke. YouTube. It's about sports. Sports. But I don't know. Or maybe he is just inhaling an unhealthy amount of salts. Wake up salts. Smelling salts. Smelling salts. YouTube. Smelling salts.
A little internal joke for Nick and Rob Homer Hour, but you can go back a couple episodes to see if you can track it down, but apparently we got flagged. But yes, Cam Scatterbo, 15 attempts for 59 yards, averaged 3.9. Is that the gloves' fault that he only averaged less than 4 yards a carry? Is he going to blame that?
Dude, the Giants got to enjoy him while they got him, because when he goes down, he's going to go down.
That's a child. That's a child. When he's winning, he's fun, he's exciting, he lets you know, and I like that part of Scatterbo, but man, you can't be blaming everything else but yourself sometimes, Just take ownership. You fumbled the ball, dude.
Yeah.
He didn't do it.
Is there anything else exciting about this game at all?
I know, yeah. Hey, I got 5 minutes. That was the key, and I got the 5 minutes of the toilet bowl, but pretty much that's it. Yeah, I really don't have much more than that other than New Orleans won. Speaking of toilet bowl contenders, and we got another one next week with this team, and we won't get into the picks with them, but next week they're playing a pretty bad opponent, I believe. Miami Dolphins, Rob.
Yeah, Miami Dolphins. I'm surprised they haven't fired McDaniels yet. They really blew this game. But that being said, the Panthers are a sneaky good team. They've got a solid coach. They've got a solid system. Bryce Young is growing into himself. And they've got some weapons. Including an angry Rico Dowdle, who cannot believe Dallas and his good friend Jerry Jones wouldn't keep him around. Carolina's going to be a really hard out every single game. Remember, this is a team that, yes, did the Patriots destroy them? Yes, they did. But this is a team that also destroyed the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. So this team is going to be, they're going to be the trendy pick next year for everyone to make the
Mhm.
playoffs. It's going to be the Panthers. They just will be. But Miami, they won't be, because that thing will be getting torn down to the studs, the absolute studs. If I was a receiver needy team, I would be calling Miami right now, trying to pull Jalen Waddle away. If I was a playoff team that needed a running back, I'd be calling and trying to see if I could uh, get a Shane away. Um, I don't know if anyone needs to call about Tua, because he's just one hit away from being done. But this team, the below the lead that they blew, McDaniels is just, and he might end up being real good in a new situation. I just think he has worn out his welcome. I think this team didn't had the right shiny parts, but didn't quite have the depth to it, and that's being shown. And the rest of the league's caught up and passed him by. So yeah, no, Miami sucked. They blew it 27-24. Um, so they're 1-4, and I don't know where win number two comes for them. I really don't. And same with the when we get to the Jets, same with the Jets. I don't know where those wins come from. So it's the NFL this year is very, very interesting. The AFC in particular, there are some horrific teams. There's maybe going to be 8 teams max battling in the AFC for 7 spots. Like the rest just aren't going to be worthy. So yeah,
Yeah,
Dolphins suck.
yeah, and you were talking about that last week, how it just seems to be splitting apart. And you were actually you picked Vegas just because you're like law of averages, Vegas over the Indianapolis Colts. We'll talk about that. You didn't?
Poor decision. I
Oh
picked the
yeah,
wrong
yeah.
one. I picked the wrong
No,
one.
but you even admitted it wasn't a talent thing. You're just like law of averages say that this gap needs to start closing, and it's only widening out there. There's very few teams that are seem to be stepping up and actually winning in the AFC. The Mike
Yeah.
McDaniel thing, the best comparison I could find to that in other sports is he reminds me of a hockey coach, where
Okay.
you, hockey coaches have like what a 5 year 4 year lifespan. Even the best ones
They
do.
don't, even the best ones, even if you win a cup, you're gonna be you have one 8 game losing streak 2 years later, you're gone. Maybe even the next year you're gone, depending on how the teams do it. NHL coaches don't last long, but they also get lots of jobs. There's
Yeah, like
NHL, like Peter Laviolette, I think, has coached 6 or 7 different teams. So there's
Pete
so I
Pete
think
DeBoer for the
yeah.
Stars, same thing. I mean, he's a great
Yep.
coach. No one disagrees he's a bad coach. It's just you lose the room sometimes, and I think that's Mike
And-
McDaniel. I think he just lost the room, and
yeah.
that happens. You just need
I,
to go to a new place.
if I was the Giants, I'd be keeping an eye. I'd bring him in for an interview once he's inevitably fired. Um, I think he could be a
Per-
good spot there. Or Vegas,
Perfect.
if Pete Carroll decides enough's enough, I'd prefer to chew gum in retirement. They
Yeah,
won't
I think the
fire Pete Carroll. It'll be if Pete Carroll says, "Nah, one and done. I'm out."
Yeah, and I think that would be a perfect situation too for Jackson Dart. I actually think that's a good match made in heaven too, because you have a good offensive style coach that could help Jackson Dart actually evolve. Remember, Tua was dead in the water. They were trying to find other players to take over that spot, and he got Tua up to a level that people consider him a good, solid quarterback as long as he doesn't get hurt.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, that's the Dolphins. How about those Commanders over there in the NFC East?
The Commanders put a licking on the Los Angeles Chargers as the Chargers. That's 2 in a row, I believe. Am I
Mm-hmm.
correct? Yeah.
It
Started the
is.
season hot, 3-0, and not only did they lose, they lost by a lot. It was 27-10. Um, you know, Jane Daniels finally came back with that knee injury, had a little knee brace on, but he was able to play with it. Threw 231 yards, got a touchdown, 39 rushing yards, even with that hurt knee. Didn't seem to bother him enough to get the rushing yards. Um, I don't know. Hey, this is big on the Commanders because their defense looked like they were struggling out there, and they were able to contain the Chargers, stopping their rushing game relatively with only 155 yards and
Yeah.
passing yards. I don't know if I'm big on Justin Herbert. I have so many problems with him, and you can only throw 181 out there against the Commanders. I just thought that was a pretty poor performance. And maybe kudos to the secondary of the Commanders. You know, Dan Quinn, he's known for a good secondary, so
Yes.
that's not too shocking. But Commanders laid it on him. I mean, 389 yards total for him. Again, guess what, Rob? There was a lot of penalties there. 17 total penalties in that game, and Daniels 15 for 26 as well out there. So,
Okay.
oh, they got the bye week. They got some rest. They were a little upset after a big loss, and I think they came out and they actually won. Commanders are a very talented team. That part doesn't shock me. What I'm shocked about is the fact that the Chargers just laid an egg out there.
I think right now it's a health thing for the Chargers. Hopefully something can get through early in the year because they keep losing running backs. They're is it Hampton? Is he their rookie running back? He went down in an injury, so now they're down and they already lost I'm blanking. They got the guy they got over from the Steelers that got an eye injury from fireworks. Najee Harris. They already lost
Najee
Harris for
Harris.
the year. So that they're this close to open tryouts for running back. So I think if they can, I don't think Hampton's going to be out too long. But if they can either make a trade for a Devin or Shane or find something. If they can weather the storm, I think the Chargers will be just fine. They're a very good team, a very well coached team. They're just getting their licks early.
Yeah, get them out of the way. And I think Jim Harbaugh coaches a team really well. But I'm going to hit it back to that one point. I'm just not big on Justin Herbert's a good quarterback, top half quarterback, but I put him at top 15. I think
Yeah,
he's
He-
accurate.
he's good enough to win a Super Bowl with, but you
He's
need
just,
all the pieces, especially on defense.
yeah, but good bounce to that game for the Commanders, and they're off to a relatively good start. So how do you feel about the? I'm running out. What was it? Oh, the Jets. Dang, is
Yeah.
it just me?
Yeah. Now
Hey,
it's Jets, Cowboys. Oh, the Jets looked so bad, and yet the Cowboys still let them score a bunch.
yeah, they did. All right, we'll get into it. We'll still have talking points for the Eagles game, but we'll piggyback
Oh,
since.
Eagles! Oh my goodness, I skipped the Eagles. Let's talk Eagles.
Yeah, I was just running through the AFC East, and I just came to that conclusion. I
Yeah,
was like, "What?
I
Wow,
forgot
you're
about
out."
the Eagles, but the Eagles had a
Yeah,
rough one.
it was a busy week for me, but it'll get a little better. The Eagles play the Giants next week, so it'll be nice for me that I get a 2-for-1 special there. But yeah, the Denver Broncos stunned the Philadelphia Eagles 21-17.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix looked really good out there. And remember that secondary that we kept on talking about? Although they only scored 21 points, Bo Nix was 24 for 39, 242 yards, one touchdown. More importantly, the Broncos were able to run the ball at 130 yards, and the Eagles were not. The Broncos did a good job at stopping the run, making Jalen Hurts be the guy. They only got 45 yards rushing. Jalen Hurts had to step up and take over the game, and the same problems happened. They got 280 yards overall. They were able to move the ball just fine, but only put up 17 points in that game.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think Saquon's been struggling. It's just, but that being said, I will say this about the Eagles. For some reason, everyone in the media, the national media, is like trying to find a way, and they always do this. They've always been doing this. Jalen Hurts, like find a way to tear him down, find a way to tear this Eagles team down. It's this, it's that, blah blah blah. They got the hardware. They're doing just fine. You take that same result and you plug in Mahomes and the Chiefs instead. The media's not even worried about it. Like, oh, it's Mahomes. The Eagles are going to be fine. They're also playing in I mean, yeah, Denver's a contender of a team. They've got a great coach. That's just one of those that it happens sometimes. If I'm the Eagles, I'd rather a loss like this early than late. It doesn't hurt them at all. They're still going to win their division. Yeah, I'm not. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm not worried as long as we can stay healthy and figure out the run game.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be worried either. And I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater like at all. The only thing I question with him is sometimes his accuracy gets a little wonky out there. But if you guys remember, Lamar Jackson when he first got into the season, he had the same issues. I mean, he overthrew so many players when he got into the league. And he could make up for it though because he's just so athletic. Same with Jalen Hurts. He's so athletic that he doesn't need to use his arm that much, and he has a great running game with Saquon Barkley normally, not this game, but he got good wide receivers out there, good offensive line. And Jalen Hurts, what I like about him the most isn't necessarily how he plays the position, although he's really entertaining to watch. He's got a hell of a work ethic. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks out there when it comes to that end of it. So maybe the accuracy is not 100% here. I wouldn't be shocked by the end of the year that he's going to start throwing dimes like he did last year towards the playoffs because no one believed in him then. And what did he do? He bounced back and made him attack. The other controversy that happened out there was AJ Brown. He didn't actually yell at his coach. No, I'm sorry. His the coaching or Jalen Hurts on this, but he started blaming the refs. He said the Eagles were robbed at home by the referees while quipped, crying Denver sent them into therapy. So I guess Sean Payton complained about enough calls out there, and it made AJ Brown
also
mad.
AJ Brown, who can't focus on anything but it seems like properly, like he doesn't know how to focus on properly running football. You slowed up on what should have been a beautiful touchdown. Everyone watched you slow up. Hurts put it where it was supposed to go. Like, I don't know, something's up with AJ Brown.
He's talented though.
He's talented. I'd be looking to move him real quick for something. Just quietly move him. I think he's addition by subtraction. Move him for something and move on.
Yeah, there's going to be a certain point where you get a couple losses. Sometimes trading a player like that away, I know that's a controversial take. We'll say it though. But if you trade away a player like AJ Brown, just get that cancer out of the locker room. They have plenty of talent out there that could still keep that offense moving. So it wouldn't be the end of the world. And I do find it funny that AJ Brown's complaining about crying. Like Denver Broncos crying too much to the refs because really AJ Brown, you're complaining about crying too much when last year you won the Super Bowl, had a great year overall as a team, and you were upset the entire time because you didn't get the ball. And you're talking about crying.
Yeah,
okay.
I think
all right, AJ.
There's a reason why a still very good at the time Titans team let him go. Do you know who the head coach was? The Titans when he left, they got rid of him. Mike Vrabel.
Was it Vrabel? Okay.
Yeah. So I think maybe the Eagles got everything they could from him, and now they can quietly get a third or fourth round pick, ship him out.
Yeah, and you could probably get more. I mean, it's AJ Brown.
Possibly. Call Jerry up, I'm sure.
Right now, I wouldn't touch that offense, which takes us into the next thing. Speaking of Jerry, did you see the $250,000 fine that he got?
For I won't even fake doing it, YouTube, for doing what he did to the crowd, which he says somehow that was misconstrued.
I loved it. We'll get into that a little bit more, but yes, I loved his response to it. I actually found it very funny. I think he was just being sarcastic and kind of getting a laugh out of it. And $250,000 to Jerry's like, whatever. Yeah, pay it. I'll do it. But yes, the Dallas Cowboys go into the game, and I was actually a little nervous about this because I don't like 0-4 teams. For the record, Dak has never beat the Jets at MetLife Stadium. He was 0-4 up to this point. So in the Dak era,
I can't believe they played the Jets that many times.
Well, he's had a long career there. Now, it's not necessarily Dak, but yeah. Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, that'd be a little weird. But for some odd reason, we haven't won there against the Jets in like something like 22 years or something. That's what they said on the broadcast over there, which shocked me when I heard it. But yeah, we're struggling. I guess normally MetLife Stadium, we do well against the Giants. Not the Jets, though. Not the Jets. But Dak ended that streak as they won 37-22. Big win over there. Looked really, really good. Dak's just putting up career numbers over here. 18 for 29, 237 yards, 4 touchdowns, and threw a 46-yarder. Another point out there is not just necessarily Dak. It's Ryan Flanoy. You don't pronounce the R, Rob, by the way. It's Flanoy. I'm learning about this player. This guy that we ended up picking up last year and ended up looking like he's going to be the third best wide receiver in the room when CeeDee Lamb gets back. Right now, he's number 2. 6 receptions, 114 yards, averaging 19 yards a catch. Gosh, he looks good, dude.
Yeah.
I love this kid. I love it. He's a go up and get it. He's hyper fast. I don't know what took him so long to get to this point because I see all the talent, but I guess he's struggling on running routes maybe last year or something. I don't know. But now that I'm seeing him display those talents,
Yeah.
I love me some Flanoy.
Yeah, he's making himself some money right now, that's for sure. But yeah, Dak had a great game. Offense had a great day. Javonte Williams had video game numbers, college playing a pansy numbers. That 16 for 135. Wow.
Yeah.
It's preseason. I'm like, okay, yeah, Javonte for a little bit maybe, but Jaden Blue's gonna come and take it. Nope. This is Javonte Williams' team. He's healthy now, and he's showing what he can do when he's healthy.
Yeah, and I feel so right about this one because when we picked him up, a lot of people were just showing him away, saying Javonte Williams, whatever, and I'm going, oh, I think we got something here.
The general manager knew what he was doing.
Jerry pulled through on this one and got him on the cheap. Now it's just a matter of do we keep him or not. Maybe, I don't know how long we're going to keep him, but
probably
we'll do our best. Speaking of rushing yards, you want to know another interesting stat?
Yeah.
Justin Fields had 7 attempts for 26 yards. Dak Prescott, 7 attempts, 28 yards. Dak Prescott outran Justin Fields that game.
Well done. But granted, you could argue because most of the stats for the Jets were put up in the second half when the game was over at halftime. But Justin Fields looking good. Garrett Wilson looking good. Fields, I'm still high on Fields. I still think he has what it takes if they let him keep growing. If he can survive that New York, New Jersey media.
I watching that game, that was another big point, by the way, Rob. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go
on that, but I think he's cooked. I think he's mentally fried. Justin Fields, those sacks, we got 5 sacks in the game, okay? This is one of the worst defensive lines in the league right now who cannot get a pass rush worth a damn, hardly getting any sacks, and we all of a sudden got 5. Now,
the Jets line sucks.
That's what a lot of people are saying. That's not what I saw. Justin Fields, dude, make a decision. It's okay. Throw a dink and dunk every once in a while. What are you doing out there? You've been in the league how long?
Yeah, but he's been in the league, but he's bounced team to team. He's got to settle into the system, and also his coach probably is telling him not to do dink and dunks. His coach is probably trying to get him to do more strike throws, but he still went 32 for 46, no picks.
Oh yeah, our defense sucks. I'm not denying that.
I'm thinking very strongly in fantasy about starting Bryce Young next week.
I would. I'm not joking.
I picked him up in an emergency for this last week with Lamar hurt and Williams on a bye. I still might start Young.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually don't see any problem with that because I'm still not that ecstatic about the defense out there. And another thing, the play calling for the Jets, dude, they're the worst in the NFL. Or they run play action the least in the NFL. And if you want to get Justin Fields in trouble, cut down on the play actions, okay? And the running play action, I know Breece Hall ended up getting hurt, and he might. No. He came back.
He came back.
he came back. But Brees Hall is a really good running back. So it's not like you don't have a threat that you can use for play action. I mean, Brees Hall's, you have to respect him because he's a really good football player. And they don't run motion. They're one of the worst in the leagues running motion out there. Two of the biggest things that I say, just help the quarterback a little. So you are right. Maybe it's just another bad system for Justin Fields, but I feel bad for him because he's got talent. I know what people are seeing, but
Well,
gosh,
you don't need to
man.
feel bad. He's got first-round draft pick money. He's okay.
Yeah, but when you're getting poo-pooed on everywhere you go, and I'm gonna run in on that, it's like Justin Fields. At some point, you're gonna have to step up and just say, "When do I'm taking it over." I got to start figuring something out. You got to stop watching tape. You got to learn from one of the best quarterbacks. Tom Brady would tell you this, right? Get rid of the ball and help your offensive line out. And he is not helping them out there. Bad game, I think, for Justin Fields overall, just with the 5 sacks and just holding on to the ball. But I don't know. I'm not high on the Jets. I think their defense is actually somewhat legit. But the Cowboys were able to move on. I mean, the Cowboys offense is really, really, really potent right now, especially with Dak dialed in. There's really nothing you could do if Dak's dialed in. I don't know how you stop it.
You don't.
You just have to.
You just know that their defense is bad enough that you just got to score this much more.
Yeah, and you can. And that's why I wouldn't be shocked of a 40-40 game with the Panthers out there next week. But overall, good game. Feels good. I'm excited. What do good teams do to bad teams? They beat them by a lot. And we did our part there. So I feel a little bit better about that. And Brian Schottenheimer, what he's doing out there, got to give him credit. That was this team is not just dying. They're playing really well and winning big ball games. So I don't know. I like what's going on with the Cowboys. Sticking to 9-8, 8-9, but overall, that was pretty good. I really like that. It's nice to get a nice win.
You mean 8-8-1?
Oh yeah. They're not going to be 8-9. Yeah, 8-8-1. So expect a 500 team, possibly. I do expect them to beat teams like the Panthers, but yeah. Anything else on the Jets?
No, they suck. They suck.
So you're the 2 New York teams we have to cover, and it's not looking too good right now for us.
No, it's not. But that's okay because we have potentially 2 playoff teams, maybe 3 out of our 3 main teams. Speaking of, what's going on with the Colts?
What's going on with the Colts?
What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? Is it go blue? Let's ride. Or lucky shoe? Who knows? Who knows? What's going on with the Colts?
The Colts. They had a fantastic game, although I don't think we can take too much out of it other than saying that they are a very good team. And the Raiders are a lot further away than Tom Brady and Pete Carroll thought they were. And I think Chip Kelly's system is it works well in college. It's not working well in the pros. Geno's not getting time to set. He's got 2 more picks. He might throw 30 picks before this year's up if this keeps up. And I don't think it's Geno's fault. I think he's trying to play in this system, and this system is not good. Chip Kelly needs to adjust or go back to college. One of the two.
I would already fire Chip Kelly at this point. I don't know what Pete Carroll. He's not afraid to fire coordinators.
Apparently, he's real buddy with Brady.
Oh, okay. Well, Brady. Oh no. Is Brady going to be like a Jerry? Are you worried about
with
that?
his like 3% of ownership? Apparently.
Okay. Well,
I mean, 3% more than I got, but
Chip Kelly had a run in the NFL to run his system, and he might have changed it a little. I don't disagree with that. Sometimes
Yeah.
coaches do evolve, but this is bad. And Geno Smith's not that bad of a quarterback. He's not the greatest, but he's not that bad.
I
I'm
mean, we saw
telling
what
you.
we saw we did in Seattle. Like he can be good. He can be good
Yeah,
with
for
Pete
sure.
Carroll.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but but that's the Raiders. We want to talk about the Colts, the Colts, who do have a challenger in the AFC South, but I think it's one they will vanquish. Daniel Jones continuing the MVP campaign, 20 for 29, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have one fumble, but Jonathan Taylor bailed him out and recovered it, so no turnovers, which was absolutely wonderful. Um, yeah, that Taylor 17 for 66, 3 touchdowns. So yeah, not a ton of yards, but you rolled them out in fantasy. You were stoked, and you probably won. Um, there was even an Anthony Richardson sighting because that's how big of a blowout it was. He got a completion for 9 yards. Good job, Anthony Richardson. Good job. But yeah, Daniel Jones he's proven he can do it. Interesting. There was a lot of receptions out there. One, two, three, four, five, six different receivers caught a ball. Adonai Mitchell, after his real bad game last week with those two key plays that cost them the win, he's still on the roster, but he was only targeted once and he didn't make a catch. So he's clearly fallen well down there. The focus was on Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, and Tyler Warren. I mean, even Anthony Richardson got more receptions than Adonai
I guess I
Mitchell.
missed that part. How did that
Yeah,
happen?
he got one reception for 9 yards. They did a little trickarooski there, and he got himself a reception. As you know, they're just trying to. I think the realization is Anthony Richardson is an athlete. He's talented. You're paying him a lot of money. If he wants to, clearly this is Daniel Jones' team. Again, I was wrong about a quarterback in preseason. I think the whole world was wrong when it comes to Daniel Jones. Um, but I think they're trying to, if they can get Anthony Richardson involved in other ways, he's very Tim Tebow esque. He can score a lot in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it could be like a Taysom Hill over at the
Yeah.
Saints, something like that. But you got to have someone willing to do it. I don't know if Anthony Richardson's that kind of guy, but I think he probably wants to play quarterback. But using him every once in a while, let's take advantage of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, you can't use him too much. You don't want him to get hurt. He is your backup. But yeah, get him out there. Use him when you can. But yeah, the Colts dominated. They are 4-1. They are looking like they're going to be very competitive with the Bills for that number one seed in the AFC.
Which is the big question that we got to, ask. I mean, who do you think's going to end up making it in the AFC playoffs?
Yeah. So yeah, I went through it. We're essentially 25% of the way through the season at this point with most of the teams. So I kind of ran through it. And like we said, it's a very top heavy conference. I think the Bills are going to, I did a quick schedule game with all the potential contenders. I think the Bills are going to still get 14 wins. They're going to be that number one seed, I think comfortably by about 2 games still. I got the Colts in at 12-5 as my 2 seed. From there, I'm looking at, the rest of the playoffs. The 3 seed, I've got that being the Chiefs. I think they're gonna, if you look at the rest of their schedule, you're gonna like, oh, they're gonna reel off some wins. I think they get themselves out to 11-6. The 4 seed, someone's gotta win the North. I'm giving that to the Steelers at 9-8, but you never
You're
know.
with you.
That could become a Baltimore or Cincinnati team that goes on just enough of a run so they get to 9 wins instead. So I'm going to give that the 4 seed there, 9-8. I've got the Pats right now in my 5 seed looking at their schedule. If they can keep doing what they're doing, I think they can get a 12-5 record. I really think they can. And that gets them the top wild card, and a pretty choice date with, a Steelers team that's probably gonna struggle. And then I've got the at the moment I've got the Chargers in at 10-7 in the 6th seed. But if they don't get healthy, remove the Chargers, put in Denver with that same record. I really think the Chiefs, Chargers, and the Broncos are just going to beat the crap out of each other. And then just whoever's got the sled edge, I'm going to give that to the Chiefs and the Chargers right now. The Broncos could slide in. And then I do have Duval. I do have the Jaguars at 10-7. So I have them playing 500 ball the rest of the way and getting that last spot, which then sets up Colts Jaguars. So for round 3. So that could go either way. That's probably not a matchup the Colts want to see. But hey, if they're the 2 seed, I think they're stoked.
And I think you were saying this earlier too. I mean, do you even see any other one competing to get into those spots?
At this point, no. It all comes down to, so it's the Broncos. I think it's the out of the 3 teams in the West, the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos. I think only 2 are gonna get in. I and there's only and then there's the two only 1 from the North and then 2 from the others, and that just leaves essentially, it's at the moment I've got the Broncos as the odd team out. But if you told me it was the Chiefs or the Chargers that were the odd team out, that's fine too. And then it's just if Lamar can get back and get healthy, I think maybe
Yeah.
Baltimore can push for it. I don't think Cincinnati's deep enough unless somehow they can pry Kirk Cousins away from Atlanta or something, but I don't know why you would do that at this point. So I think there's
Don't
really
have to. They they just got Joe Flacco, Rob.
Oh, did they? Did they? I did not see that.
Yeah.
The Browns let Flacco go, and he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah, they just traded him away. Yeah. I guess they're gonna go with the veteran
Breaking
presence over there.
news.
So
Good for Flacco, but
it happened in the afternoon.
Yeah, good for
Well,
Flacco, but
I think not enough to do it, huh?
no.
He's got good wide receivers. He's got
No,
good
he
wide receivers
does.
now, though.
He does, but they're gonna have to go on a serious run, and I don't know if they've got enough for it. So that's my 7. Did you take a look at the AFC playoffs? You just kind of focus on the NFC.
I mean, I did a little on the AFC, but I'm right there with you. There's not much disagreement on that. You got to flip them, like you said, with Denver and the Chargers. I think Denver should win that, but outside of that, I mean, and you even stated that, but outside of that, I don't really see any like conflicts there. I think that's just how it's going to play out. Of course, besides injuries. On the NFC side, it looks pretty. I mean, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are still the team to beat. They have way too much talent on their offense, and their defense looks like they're playing well. I'm actually going to move the 49ers as the number 2 seed. Right now, they're 4-1. They have a lot of injuries. But the fact that they're competing right now with all those injuries out there, it's Kyle Shanahan, man. I just love Kyle Shanahan, and I would do anything for them to fail so they'd fire him so the Cowboys could get him. Because that's how much I love Kyle Shanahan. Like, I think he's the best coach that, I mean, he has won a Super Bowl, I know, but man, he's one of my favorite coaches. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think are going to win the NFC South, I'm sorry. And the Detroit Lions should, I think this is going to be the little shocker. I think it's not really that shocking because the Detroit Lions are playing real well, but I think the Green Bay Packers have a lot of problems right now, and it could just be their quarterback because they have still a good defense. They still should be able to score with that offense, but give me the Detroit Lions over the Green Bay Packers to win the division just because that team's stacked. But the Packers will still make the playoffs, in the wild card rounds, and they'd be a team you don't want to play with in the playoffs. Seattle Seahawks are going to make the playoffs as well.
Yep, I agree there.
And man, I mean, look at the options here. You got Minnesota Vikings, Washington Commanders, Los Angeles Rams, Atlanta Falcons.
It's deep.
It's a lot. It's deep. I mean, Cowboys are in some trouble. I want to try to find a way to get them in. I just don't think if this defense keeps playing like they do, I don't think they're going to make it. But give me, screw it. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. They're just going to find a way to get ahead of them just
You
because
think they're in
I
there
need
at
to find
7
it.
seed?
I think they could. Yeah. I'd imagine the thing about having this many good teams is they beat up on each other, so you don't need that great of a record. And if you look at the Cowboys' schedule,
that tie could help.
Not that strong. It's not a strong schedule. It is in the back half towards the end, but we should get some wins here. We should have got a win against the Bears. We didn't take advantage of that one, but
for
that's kinda
sure
where I'm at with them.
For sure. So I'll do a quick rundown of what I see the NFC looking like. We have pretty much similar teams in, a couple differences. I've got the Lions hanging on to that 1 seed. I think they'll gonna just edge out the Bucks. I think the Bucks are scary good, and they're also and the Bucks are playing in probably the weakest division in the NFC. Not that it's too much weak, but I think the Falcons are pretenders for sure. So I have the Bucks winning their division as the 2 seed. I think the Seahawks, someone's going to win the West. I'm giving it to the Seahawks. I think they're going to somehow find a way. Looking at the schedule, I think they can go 12-5 if Darnold keeps doing what he's doing. So I'm going to give it to the Seahawks over the Niners, over the Rams. Although I have both those teams in. I've got the Eagles down at winning their division, but down at the 4 seed. I think they're going to hit some bumps, but they're still gonna be a 10-win team. Then I've got for my wild cards, I've got the Rams with the top wild card spot at 12-5. I got the Niners playing the Seahawks. I think the Niners are going to get the 6 seed, and then I think that tie is going to help those Packers. I think it's going to help those Packers get past the Commanders just barely by a half game there, and I got the Packers with the last seed and the Commanders on the outside looking in.
Dang, Commanders not making it. The big thing is, I think the Commanders could even win the division if they start turning it right. NFC East is becoming a kind of a tough division right now. I think even if the Cowboys aren't the best, that they're a team you don't want to play with just because of their offense out there. So it's going to be very entertaining for the NFC East.
Yes, it will. And now we got some picks to make.
Yeah, so we got week 6 picks. Let's go ahead and fire that up and make them and go.
Making picks with Nick and Rob. Nick and Rob. The pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a gun on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob.
All right. We got 3 picks to go. Nick with his perfect week last week. Well done. Thank you for that confidence in the New England Patriots. That was awesome.
It aged well, for sure.
It did age well. So the first game for us to take a look at on our schedules, actually, it's an interesting one. It's the Cardinals, and they are a team that could potentially make a playoff push. The Cardinals visiting the Colts.
Colts are favored 5.5 points. Not only would I take the Colts, I would actually take the Colts to beat that spread. I think the Colts are going to get them. I think the Arizona Cardinals are fool's gold. I don't think they're that good, man. I just don't think they are. And Indianapolis Colts, on the other hand, have a great defense. Daniel Jones is doing really well. Give me the Colts. Give me the Colts all day.
Yep, I agree. I don't know if I would pick it on the spread because that Falcons, that Cardinals, got to get the bird right. That Cardinals offense, when it gets humming, it gets humming. But I think the Colts defense is too strong. So yeah, Colts win this one. They move on to 5-1 for sure.
5-1, and then we got the New England Patriots. Your New England Patriots, Rob.
Yeah.
Against the New Orleans Saints. I'm trying to scare you.
And you know what? I've got the Pats winning this one, but at the same time, this is still a young team. This is a team that, I'm like, oh, they could be 12-5. They could just as easily finish this season 5-12. They really could. So they got to make sure, and I think Vrabel is the right coach to keep them in the right headspace to be ready to go down to New Orleans. Don't get distracted by stuff. Don't go out looking for the good food and the party scene. Don't cruise through practice all week because you beat the Bills. These Saints are nothing. No, show up, do your job, get the win. I've got the Pats winning this one, but it might be a little closer than what we want it to be. And
I will say,
Vegas agrees. Vegas has it at 3.5.
yeah, they have them at 3.5. I will say for the New England Patriots, I don't care how bad the New Orleans Saints are, it's just a tough place to play. And New Orleans fans, it doesn't matter if that team's
They're
good.
rowdy.
Doesn't matter if they're bad. They just are rowdy. They like to party. So I don't think it's going to be an easy one for them. But I think the Patriots are just more talented, and I'm falling in love with Drake May. So I think Drake May should be able to beat the Saints' poor defense, and then Spencer Rattler. I'm sure Vrabel's got a good game plan to contain someone like Spencer Rattler. So give me the Patriots all day on that one for sure.
Yep. Awesome. I agree. And this is a tough week for us because all three teams are in the early viewing window on Sunday. So I think I'm assuming, Nick, you're going to have the red zone fired up and going. No,
No, just Cowboys only, and
just
then
Cowboys.
I'll go back and watch the other games. But yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
just how
Fair
I am.
enough. I think we're probably going to differ here, sir. I think we are. I'm going Panthers.
Hey, it's not a bad pick. Carolina Panthers. Cowboys are playing at the Carolina Panthers. I say Dak doesn't play well outdoors, but he seemed to be doing fine out there. I don't think it's going to be a problem on the offensive side for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's going to be a problem on the defensive side. The Carolina Panthers seem to game plan really well every once in a while, and they end up scoring a lot on defenses, and this is a great defense to score on. I don't think it's going to be easy. Cowboys are favored -3.5. I think that's ridiculous. The Cowboy fans, boy, if they catch wind of this team being good, they move spreads like mountains, like God moves mountains out there, because they will push a spread the wrong way just because Cowboy fans fall in love with the Cowboys, and then they just start betting on them and skews the spread every single time. And that's why I don't bet on them, by the way, Rob, because I know I am blinded by my love for this football team. So
that's smart.
And blinded. Yeah. So, and why hurt my heart and my wallet? Like, why do that?
Exactly.
let me just hurt my heart, and that'll be enough. But give me the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to find a way to pull through, get a win over there. Not that ecstatic about it. These teams make me nervous, especially the Panthers beating the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. So things like that make me nervous. So they can score. I don't think they're going to lay an egg, but the Cowboys should be able to win that game.
Yeah, I think, like you said earlier, I think it might be first to 40.
Yeah, do you want to know the over and under? It's 49.5. Would you bet the over on that?
Yes.
Easily. Yeah. Of course, we're saying easily, so it's probably going to be a low scoring game.
13-10 final.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the show. Rob, where can they find us?
All right, you can find us. Hopefully, if you're watching our faces right now, you've already found us on YouTube. So please make sure, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Set those alerts so that way you know when our podcast drops on Tuesday night and it's ready to rock and roll for you either late Tuesday night or during your day on Wednesday. And then also, because every once in a while, we don't have a scheduled live stream for another few weeks, but that doesn't mean we're not going to occasionally have a pop-up live stream. So if you set your alerts, that means you'll know when we're popping on, and that way you can join us and interact with us like so many of the fans already have. You can also find us on Instagram at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. And if you do prefer, of course, to listen instead of watch, you can find us on Spotify, Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Find us there. Again, give us a like, give us a listen. And we're also on, if you prefer the shorts, we're also on TikTok. Go ahead, if you have that app, Nick and Rob Homer Hour, go ahead and follow us. We're trying to build that base up so that when we do our live streams, we're live streaming not just on YouTube and X, but we're also live streaming out to TikTok as well. So go ahead, give us that follow. Our viewer, y'all are getting in on the right time. Our viewer base is growing and growing. Subscribers are growing every week. So share with your friends. We'd love to have you along for the ride.
Yeah, yeah, and we looks like we have a super fan for the live streams. We got Tony out there too. So Tony, we appreciate what you've done every live stream. Like Rob said, we have some scheduled ones out there, but then every once in a while I get excited and I just say, I'll just fire one up, Rob. And,
Which is awesome. Sunday nights are great.
Yeah, and if you want to not be surprised by that, follow us on X. Usually we will post it at least on Sunday morning, like we did on the previous show, saying, hey, we're going to go live. So, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us, and, please keep following.